Welcome to the TheDPost Sports Notebook, your daily WVU sports roundup at TheDPost.com. The mere mention of the name Montel Cozart conjures up bad memories for WVU's defensive players. The then true freshman Kansas quarterback made his first career start against the Mountaineers a year ago, leading the Jayhawks to a 31-19 victory that sealed WVU's first losing season since 2001. Cozart's numbers weren't necessarily eye-popping. The 6'2", 200-pounder ran 13 times for 60 yards and completed 5 of 12 passes for 61 yards, but he displayed a knack for making plays when the Jayhawks needed them. He hurt us in the running game, WVU linebacker Nick Kwiatkowski said. I remember a few plays where he got out and hurt us for some big gains on a couple of third downs. The Mountaineers will face Cozart again Saturday at 4 p.m. at Milan Puskar Stadium. 1 week ago, Kansas's Clint Bowen was serving as the Jayhawks defensive coordinator and worked in that capacity through KU's last game, a 23-0 home loss against Texas on Saturday. A day later, Bowen was named interim head coach, replacing Charlie Weiss. With less than a week to prepare, Bowen has been tasked with circling Kansas's wagons and preparing his team to come to Morgantown. WVU defensive line coach Tom Bradley can empathize. In 2011, after more than 30 years on Joe Paterno's staff at Penn State, Bradley was put in the unenviable position of replacing the Nittany Lions coaching legend for the team's final 4 games. While the circumstances that led to the interim situations at Kansas and Penn State differ, the end result was the same, with a longtime assistant taking over with no advance notice. Bradley, who had been Penn State's defensive coordinator, was named head coach just days before the team faced number 19 Nebraska, and is familiar with the challenges associated with assuming control of a program mid-season. There are a lot more things that Bowen has to worry about that he didn't have to worry about before, Bradley said. There are things that the head coach took care of that are now in his lap. You really don't have your system in place of who your coordinators or your defensive guy might be. He's got to decide how much he wants to carry both assignments through. I'm sure this week he will, but eventually he's going to have to figure out how he wants to divide those duties up. WVU junior guard Bria Holmes was tabbed the Big 12 Conference Preseason Player of the Year and selected to the preseason All-Big 12 team Wednesday. The awards were chosen by head coaches who are not allowed to vote for their own student athletes. Holmes was a unanimous All-Big 12 first-team selection last year in leading the Mountaineers to a share of their first Big 12 women's basketball regular season title. She was also an Associated Press All-American Honorable Mention, as well as a Big 12 Championship All-Tournament Team honoree. The New Haven, Connecticut native led the Mountaineers with 15.2 points a game, which ranked 7th in the conference. Her 516 points were the 5th highest total by a sophomore in program history.